Welcoming you back to Crypto's Juiciest News, baby dolls. We are now due for our famous retest that always happens in the cryptocurrency lands. Why do we always have the famous retest? Because we're volatile as hell. We always seem to break the tops of these ranges and then come back down. That's exactly what's been happening to the BTC price. I've given the BTC price an orange emoji. What do we have in store for you today? Jams win. Is he being naughty and gambling again? Did Jamie Dildo, the CEO of JP Mosquito, did he talk about stablecoins? Stablecoin super cycle. What did President Trump say, friends? We've got Crypto Week coming, all of that and more. BTC receiving the orange emoji just because it's kind of stalled out, even though it looks still great. On the monthly chart out here, BTC 116, 117, whatever it is. So I'm just going to go down into the lower time frame just so you can have a quick squeeze and a look at what we're actually checking out here. This is the BTC candle. It's had one red daily pullback. This would be that previous level where you never know, man. We might just go and then come back up, okay? Is this enough? I don't know, man. It's all subjective, you know? Do you have to test the exact level? Is it enough to kind of just go, oh, can we just kind of like draw a line? Can you just do this later? We don't know, okay? But this is pretty much what we're looking at right now. At least we did go into price discovery zone. This is usually what we call that, what I said, that retest zone. So usually when we break up, the first one is kind of like, hey, we're going to do one more charge. And if you don't get out of your shorts here, it's finished. That's pretty much what we're looking for now. But kind of implies, right, we're running out of time. Well, is there going to be 30 to 60 days left? I guess we'll find out soon. I know BCB and many other people think it's pretty much going to be over soon. But, you know, I don't think so. Business ISM hasn't ticked up. I think the charts are going to change. I think everyone's going to change their opinion. I don't think their altcoins are going to go as high as they think. And I think everyone's going to be like pretty much bag holding. This is the Bitcoin weekly chart. We are in the Tasty Tubes zone, friends. This is the Tasty Tubes. I drew this many years ago. So just to let you know, okay, I'm not getting out, but if it goes down from here, it's your fault. Just telling you. If it goes down from here, it's your fault. It's my fault that we never click sell. I'm not getting out, okay? I'm not going to be held responsible for anything in terms of trying to predict a perfect top because you just don't know, man, because no one knows, right? You have to handle this yourself. Of course, I believe it's a believer cycle, and the 4-week cycle people, we're going to have to get rid of them. So that's what I don't know why. Something in my brain, something in my loins, my pointy elbows is just telling me we got to get rid of the 4-year cyclers because it's just how it's going to have to go. How do we get rid of them? Maybe a push up to about 150, which is the first fib. So what I've drawn here, these rectangles are fib levels. Okay, so I just drew them here, so it's nice and easy for us to see. If we repeat 2017, okay, if we repeat 2017, we would ping to the first fib. See this one here? That's 150K pretty much. You would ping up to here. You'd come back and retest. You would pong up to the second fib and then come back and retest the first fib. That's exactly what it did in 2017. Now, after that point, anyone's guess, all right? Do we go for the 150? Do we make a double top and collapse? Do we make a lower high and collapse? I don't know. Okay, we're going to get to that area there. I wonder if we'll have more information to let us know that the cycle still has more to go from that point. We'll see. We'll see when it comes to that, okay? So it's very nicely clean structure. That's what it did in 2017. Actually, in 2017, it blew through the highest fib extension. But I know a lot of people are going to have that fan fiction stuff out here. I could go give you some good news, friends, as well. The Bitcoin dominance is going down whilst Bitcoin's going down, and Bitcoin's actually down for the day, and meth is up. So this is the Bitcoin dominance chart. It is slowly curling down. We got a long way to go. My gosh. But it's nice to see at least it's moving in the right direction. This could, you know, like we've just trapped so many people, man. A lot of people have pretty much trapped. You could just, they're not going to get out. They're not going to get out because it's boy who cried wolf. This is the daily chart for meth. Look at this. It's green on the day, friends. It's about 3,050. Might even start heading up here. The next CME gap's 3,200. Yes, we are still frustrated because, you know, we want meth above 4,000 minimum. I want to see $5,000 meth plus. That'll be great. But for the rest of us, we're going to have to just, you know, pretty much wait. Don't forget, Willy Woo called for Bitcoin dominance 90% all the way at the tippy top here. You have Udi taking some time off from pashing the throat of, of Eric Wall. Shout out to you guys, by the way. So once they stop pretty much jerking each other off, they might have a look at this giant red arrow. You also have another Bitcoin Maxi Plebitar. Whenever he shows his Bitcoin Maxi audience the Bitcoin dominance, he zooms in and he totally ignores this. He just goes, wow, you're all dead. No, bro. Look, man. Yeah, I want a cypherpunk world where, you know, we grow our own potatoes and the government doesn't interfere and pretty much we have freedom and liberty. I want that world too. But that's not the world we live in, bro. We live in a world where the Bermuda Triangle has got some sea creatures which are older than us. That's the world we live in, okay? We live in a world where the president is defending a global pedophilia elite ring. All right, that's the world we live in, okay? That's what we live in, yeah? So we live in a world where people want yield. People want to take risk. People want to gamble. We live in that world. Yes, we live in a world where altcoins are the infrastructure of Bitcoin. You might not want to live in that world, but we do live in that world. We live in a world where Bitcoin literally does nothing, can't support stablecoins, can't do anything, all right? But also, the same world has people who are turbo leveraged long BTC and refusing to touch everything else, all right? So not only do we live in that world that not everyone really wanted to live in when Satoshi made Bitcoin, but now everybody is positioned for such a world to play out. That's pretty much what it is. If you're leveraged, turbo leveraged long Bitcoin, pretty much you are really going all in on the world outcome where it all becomes cypherpunk anarchy again. And we just like throw out altcoins, which I'll literally give you a negative 85% chance that happens. I mean, like you're literally watching the Zoomer generation gamble, gaming, loot boxes. You're watching the president dump the meme coin on everyone. You know what I mean? So like you have 50,000 signals telling you that all of this is happening, plus stablecoin super cycle, plus meme coin super cycle. You know, all of these are pretty much happening right in front of our face. So who's going to be right and who's going to be wrong? Well, the thing is, friends, the fact that everybody felt like they wanted to put the Bitcoin dominance up here, like the market's right. You know, the market's always right. However, I don't think they're going to be happy in 12 months. That's another way to think about it. You know, are they going to be happy or are they going to be sad in 12 months? You know, I just thought about that now, right? Live as I'm recording. It's another way to think about markets because everyone gets really defensive when you're like, oh, you're right or you're wrong, right? It's not about that. Another way to think about it is, you know, oh, you're very, very, very happy today. Do you think you'll be equally happy or sad in 12 months? Right? That's another way to think about it. Of course, people are going to say the same thing, but it's just another way to conceptualize these things. Now, the S&P 500 is here cranking on. It's still near the all-time highs, actually through the all-time highs out here. We're waiting for this macro stuff to pretty much play out. We have the Russell 2000 doing a bit of a retracement here. Kind of funny, I'll do a retracement from the bottom to the top. Russell 2000 comes around the 61.8, is hanging around here. We need the Russell 2000 through the highs, but that moves with the business ISM as well. Okay, so the Russell 2000 prices all that stuff in. Good thing for us, we have the global liquidity cycle, which is still cranking on through. Up and to the right, up only. Yes, we're pretty much waiting for all of it to get started. I heard a few people talking about the Kippy. I don't even know if the Kippy came out. No one even cares about that anymore. Yeah, he said the Kippy came out 2.7%, came out hotter than expected. The core Kippy came out weaker. That's funny. So the Kippy year on year. So what do? The core is they trim the most volatile stuff and they just look at the middle. So it's funny. The middle's gone down and the extremes have gone more extreme. Kind of makes it funny. But yeah, what's the US Fed going to do? I don't know, friends, when it comes to these, because like you have stock market at nearly highs, kind of like we're surviving, but that's about it. And people just don't want to survive. They want to like improve their situation. And for that to happen, we need the positive flywheel. A lot of people think that, you know, the US Fed's going to have to cut rates and really, you know, pretty much turn the sprickets on. But, you know, we'll see. Because like in 2017, crypto had no trouble going through the moon. The president didn't even acknowledge crypto. Trump was in 2017, didn't even know what crypto was, still doesn't even know what it is, funny enough. So we had that going on. We had every country banning it multiple times. You had literally zero use cases for it. It was literally just ICOs. It was just people coming in, mania, throwing stuff in. So crypto had no trouble pumping back then. I know, yes, this time is different and stuff out here, but just showing you, even with that environment back in 2017, you had interest rates high, right? And they were relatively high for the economy. And I'm going to just come back and show you. I mean, Bitcoin friends had absolutely no problem in this cycle going through the freaking moon over here. This is pretty much it, right? So as you can see, right, this is the fibs, right? This is when I showed you. It goes through the first fib, comes back down. The second fib comes back down to the first. It like retraces. That's that move that we might be having. And then what happens after that? Does everyone think it's going to go up or we're going to go down? It'd be quite cool, right? If this happened, that pattern here, in that zone here, everyone's going to be calling probably for a super cycle, $1 million BTC, if we got something like that. But, you know, we'll see. We'll see. What's PMI going to be doing? We already have the future 9-month forecasts of the PMI, which is, you know, like basically the heartbeat of manufacturing for US economy, which is pretty much the leader of altcoins here. So the 9-month lead, so friends, this is funny, right? So by next year, June 2026, this thing's 55. All right. But we don't know, does it spike up and then collapse, or does it just like kind of like grind up into it? If it spikes up and collapses, well, we're meant to be selling, I guess, December this year and you walk away. Okay. If it goes up and just kind of like does something like that, then of course we're running into next year. Yes, pretty much every day ticks by. We don't have all the answers. We just got to live it. This is the ETH BTC ratio. It's up to 0.026. It's kind of like we're celebrating every tiny increment. Man, it's got a long way to go. I mean, your spot ETF was here. You rubbish coin. My gosh, your spot ETF was up. You're still down from the spot ETF, man. So, you know, that's just markets, man. So sometimes they work out like the Bitcoin ETF, right? And then other times, like the meth ones, they get wrecked. You're probably curious as well. What's happening with soy? Guess what? Soy ETH ratio is going down again. Here is the soy ETH ratio. It's kind of funny. But look, here we are already. You're already back to where you were. Look at this. You already are back to where you were in December 2023. Huh? That fast? Yes. Yes. Look how fast that was. There you go. Look at that. You're back here. You were here December 2023. So the good thing is you're still above the all-time highs. But yes, this is soy ETH is still ticking down, friends. And you got to think about this, like I have these 3 giant arrows. You have me calling for the top, literally here. You have Donald Trump launching his meme coin there. You have Freddie Kroiger, another Bitcoin maxi, literally launching a coin on it, saying Solana's the future and just rugs the coins, takes everyone's money. And then you have this was just Ethereum going to zero. You know what I mean? And everyone, this peak soy over here. And look at this, it's coming down. Isn't that funny? Ethereum haven't done any upgrades, friends. No upgrades. They haven't done any upgrades. They haven't made the chain faster. Layer 2s are still a thing. Vitalik probably still has soy. Probably. I don't know. Right? Gonna have to confirm that. And look, it just sticks down. So what's actually going on here? The narrative is Fugazi. Yes, the narrative is Fugazi. This is just what markets do, right? They price stuff in through the future. There are people positioned for, you know, perfect worlds that don't come. And then on the opposite side, hopefully we're in Pulse Chain, people positioned for the absolute worst and things to never change. And then you get the upside surprise. We'll see how that plays out. Speaking of Pulse Chain, let's look at the prices of today. Nothing's going on still rubbish. Nothing's moving on. Could be, is there more price suppression? Maybe. Everything's really low. I know everyone's upset. What can we do, man? We still got to wait. Literally still have to wait. I mean, the Ethereum, Richard Hart's Ethereum treasury is still down. You know what I mean? So it's just because Ethereum's starting to move on the right direction. Yeah, we still got a long way to go, man. But yeah, it can happen fast, right? Because the flash rallies, like that's why everyone's short Ethereum. So like any type of setup like this, these happen once or twice a year, max, right? Maximum twice a year, mostly one time a year. Something gets a big fat giant squeeze, or just everybody's too bearish on it. So this is the Pulse Chain PLS price chart, still hanging around here doing nothing. It feels like there's a lot of marketing campaign pushes now. Remember, friends, there's Liberty Swap Finance. I've got more videos and stuff coming out for you later on. Liberty Swap Finance. So it could be, it's a rumored Richard Hart project, but be careful of it. All right, it has cross-chain support. So we're now in the phase where all the cross-chain stuff is now being slapped in. Okay, so you can come in from Solana, all into Pulse Chain. Solana, Binance, Arbitrum, Robinhood, right, Coinbase, all of them have support of all of them. So you can just swap straight from any of those chains, any coin, pretty much, I think the USDC of any coin, and then you can just come and move into a Pulse Chain coin straight away. You can even buy PDAI, you can buy PWBTC straight from the drop-down menu, which I'll show you. Now, once again, just please, for the love of God, be careful. Don't ruin yourself, because I don't know how to check code or anything, okay? But this is it, Liberty Swap. .finance, look it on the top left, friends, okay? Just do not ever go to Google searches. You type in LibertySwap.finance yourself. Don't find these Google searches. So you can see here, so this is Cuckbase. You can get USDC on Binance or USDT as well. That's wild. USDC, it's very easy because if you're on a chain, you can just use your DEX. Sell your coin into USDC on your chain and then just swap it to Pulse Chain. There you go, 2 seconds. So this is actually wonderful here. So even in the drop-down menu, if you go down, PDAI and PWBTC are here. Here you have Pulse Chain core coins, which you can participate on, which is wonderful. And yeah, as more chains come on, there's 5 chains now. They said, maybe rumored Richard, said there's going to be like 40 plus. So probably once all of those are fully connected, right, then the actual mass marketing campaign comes. Because you want, basically when people hear a message, you don't want them to wait. You want them to be able to act like literally instantly and come in, and maybe all the farms and everything appears at the same time. Now let's crack on through the news, friends. So JamsWin has loaded $450,000 into a Hyperliquid account again, and he's done a 40x leverage long. Now his liquidation is $115,000. Okay, so this is JamsWin. I'm going to show you right here. I can find his post, but I can't be bothered. So I think his liquidation is literally around here. All right, it's around there. So, man, I don't know why. There's no way this guy's... I know it looks like this guy's hedging. He's not, man. He's just... These positional trades, I'm like, bro, there is no way. Like, what are you doing? It's in the nothing zone. You know what I mean? It's not like something went up and then it starts rolling over that it even puts a position. It's just it's trapped in the screw around zone, man. It's just wild. So his liquidation is here. I wonder if we're gonna get another attack from the Matrix where we go wipe him out and then go up. Yeah, man. See, this is the thing, friends. People will win a lot of money in leverage longs now because they've been losing for 4 years. You're gonna be seeing, friends, I think Crypto is up $30 million in his leverage long. So all of that will be blasted all over crypto. Just to let you know, friends, or you know the mainstream KOLs, you know why they all get paid by Bybit. You know, I could have accepted something like that. I could do the trading easy. I just know, man, it's win rate's not good enough. 1%'s not good enough, man. 1%. You know, but look, you can't have an attitude of like, look, well, people are gonna fall their own way, and whoever wants to like, you know, do their best and try their hardest, they're gonna win. But then crypto altcoin upside blows these things to pieces, man. It's not even close. Okay, and look how many pitfalls of time rinsing we've had this cycle. Your leverage long would have been destroyed every single time. Last year, mid last year, end of last year. Remember end of 2024, Donald Trump going up. We think Ethereum's going to break it, then it just comes back, gets whacked. Like if you're trying to do a macro leverage long or anything, you're missing out on everything. And by the way, this is the thing, right? You can't expect to live in a world where you do 50,000 things at once. You can't be a cookie cutter because it doesn't work. So it would be nice if you knew exactly how to trade and watch it meticulously and everything out here, and then you go find all these mad altcoin gems. It doesn't actually happen, friends. It does not happen. Okay, you have to focus on something. And I'll tell you right now, here's the thing: in 10 years from now, leverage trading will still be here. Okay, it will still be here. But these altcoins won't, okay? It'll be a different story. The growth rate will be way lower. There will be opportunity always in markets. It won't be like this, man. No way it will be like this. We're in the golden age. People don't even know what Metcalfe's law is. The average person coming in. If you go to the stocks, friends, they have like all these panels and all these pages and Jeremy Lafufu websites. They like spam all the relevant information for you instantly. They tell you about the cash flow, balance sheet, debt to equity, PE, future cash flow, target demographic. They have all of it slapped on. You don't have any of that in crypto. No one knows what the hell's going on. That's why there's edge here. Look who you're competing against and competing with. You're competing with people where there's very, very low information amongst everybody, right? And to find information, you just got to read and absorb. That's why you watch me, the highest value content in crypto. So to even be looking at a liquidation long of 115K, it's an abomination. Like your mind shouldn't even be thinking about a leverage freaking BTC whatsoever, or even Ethereum. Your mind should be, how can I find the next big growth opportunity, right? That's why it's easier said than done, right? That's why we look for stuff like Pulse Chain. That's why I even show you, hey, stablecoin super cycle. We've never seen this before, right? And all these other things out here. Jamie Dildo said JP Mosquito will enter a stablecoin space to understand it, to be good at it, as Citybug and Bank of Frickin' Ants explores similar moves. So JP Mosquito, right, the CEO, Jamie Dildo himself, literally said he's coming in for stablecoins. Everyone's coming in for stablecoins. It's so easy. Friends, even Ripple, it's funny. I saw, this is just hilarious. I saw Ivan talking about Ripple's RLUSD currency adoption. And what he doesn't know is Ripple just basically entered agreements where they just swap money with each other and then they just hold their stablecoin to make it look better. He does, like, it's funny. People don't even know that. Because you're earning no yield on it, bro. Why the hell would you want a shitty stablecoin from Ripple that gives you 0 yield and then they take your money and just go get yield with it? It makes no sense. You just got to think about it for 2 seconds. Then you go do the research. That's what they do. So it's kind of funny what they've done. So they've dumped XRP on the XRP community. Now they've got money. They keep it for themselves. They do the RLUSD themselves and get the yield. And they just enter into these partnerships like these random companies. Hey, we'll buy 10 million of your equity. You buy 10 million of our RLUSD thing. We'll just do a swap thing out here. So, but it is what it is. No one really cares about any of those mechanics. You just want the price to go up, which is exactly true. Check out the Chainlink price chart here. It is still in Poopy Town, $15.80, where there's no glory until this thing goes up above $50. I'm also going to look at XRP. Pretty much everything. It looks like Chainlink, and only XRP looks like XRP. Why? Because it missed the whole last cycle. That was XRP's last cycle, you see. Came up, into the retrace, down only. It's been going on literally freaking forever, and then pop up. So here we are right now. XRP, $2.80. Blockchain backers getting out at around here. $8.80. They're getting everything out around here. I will be watching carefully to see if XRP only hits the second fib and comes back down. And then I'm going to watch everybody change their thesis and say, oh, wait, I'm actually a believer. So I'm expecting that, you know, but you never know. Maybe XRP does go to the highest fib. We'll see. Donald Trump has said that the House will soon vote on a tremendous bill to make the US the undisputed global leader in digital assets. Well, what actually happened is they did vote and it didn't pass through. So CNBC reports the US House procedural vote for 3 crypto bills has failed. 210 Democrats and 13 Republicans voted against advancing crypto's Genius Act, Clarity Act, and Anti-CBDC Act. Now, the Evil Genius Stablecoin Act and the Clarity Act, they're actually trash. They're actually very, very bad. They just give total control to the banks and stuff out here. But yeah, it's just Democrats and whatever political stuff. I'm sure something will work itself out. Now, as we go through the cycle, friends, we have to remember that even though everyone is aware of the 4-year cycle, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to play out the way we think. Every single cycle, there's something different, all right? It's very obvious everybody is so aware of what happened last cycle, hyper aware. They're ready to get out. In 2021, no one was ready to get out. Yes, they weren't. Because we had infinite QE, we had just get started, it was so early. Yeah, so that's why in this cycle, I thought, well, it only makes sense for us to run late now. Yeah, because everybody's ready to get out early. You know, so it's gonna make them get out early, by the way, and they are getting out. People are renting themselves out. They'll do leverage, and they're gonna sell around the 4-year cycle time. Yeah, and then it's probably gonna be a believer cycle. So we'll see. President Trump said, "Happy Crypto Week. The House will soon vote on that bill, right?" That's what we thought, friends. That's what we thought. This Crypto Week stuff was going to be maybe the narrative to push up. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's a reset. It's all fugazi anyway, right? The price action matters most. 80,000 Bitcoin whale since 2011 has moved 16,800 Bitcoin to Galaxy Digital, implying a sale has occurred for $2 billion. Now, we don't know. It's private, but apparently that's what has happened. People are saying, just to tell you, friends, whenever any Bitcoin moves, Pulse Chain community says it's Richard every single time. Whenever any Bitcoin moves, any big amount, they say everything is Richard. I don't know. This one is rumored Richard. It went to Galaxy. Maybe the Tornado Cash it equivalent. Maybe you give it to Galaxy, it's OTC, and then you can nominate wallets to get. And it doesn't have to be a US dollar sale. It could be an Ethereum rotation, man. Yeah, it could literally be an Ethereum rotation. They could get ETH for it. So I guess we'll see. We'll see how it all plays out. ETF inflows, check this out. Bitcoin, 297 million, and Ethereum, 260 million. That's wild. So it's almost 1-to-1 consistently. The amount of dollars coming into Bitcoin is matching Ethereum. So before it used to be 10-to-1. It used to be like 300 million Bitcoin, 30 million ETH. That's what it used to be, 330. Now it's almost 1-to-1. So that's huge. It means like Ethereum's going to get gobbled up and smacked up. Bernstein analysts expect a long and exhausting crypto bull market extending into 2026, driven by institutional adoption, and maintain their $200,000 Bitcoin target by early 2026. Do you remember, friends, our friend Armadillo, Baby Doll Armadillo, where he was interviewed by Ivan, and I reported on it about a year and a half ago almost. This is my thread, Armadillo. He had Bitcoin, 276K, Ethereum, almost 30K. All right, but this was before we all collapsed to dog shit. So maybe he's changed. This is Armadillo in the left. He has a very simple method, but he won't tell us, and that's good. I don't want him to tell anybody how he gets that, but this is interesting. He also believed this cycle would go longer than we thought. He said it was going to take a bit longer, but we're going to get the same price target out here. I remember him saying that. We've all been thinking about this for a while because it's actually what's been happening. He goes, hey, this could be some sort of super cycle of sorts. See, I wrote this in April 2024, right? And look at this. I showed you back then. This is interesting. Back then, the crowd expected $120,000 Bitcoin on average. So hitting 240K would be the weak spot of FOMO buyers. Yes. Right now we're at 120. Isn't it funny? From a year ago. Now the crowd's moved their target, right? It's also interesting from Polymarket, it's still only like 20% of people think Bitcoin hits 200K. Most of them are expecting this between 100 and 200, more like 150. He also said he thinks this will be the last time we see huge explosive growth. Believes there will be a complete blowout in shitcoins. Yields will get insane, lots of risk rehypothecated and shooting out the risk curve, and DeFi 2.0. That never came though. DeFi 2.0 Sava never came in 2024. Now this year hasn't finished, but we're all still waiting. So all of these guesses and stuff out here, hopefully we do pump. We'll see. Bit Digital have raised $67 million and they're going to buy more meth for their treasury. It's always good to stack meth. So of course, all these treasuries buying Bitcoin, buying Ethereum, putting on the treasury, gobbling all the supply. It's eventually going to translate to big moves in alt season stuff out here, precisely because I believe in the next bear market, governments are going to make rules about acquiring crypto. They're going to have to make rules where they're like, look, like, why? Because it's probably going to go too far. Someone's going to do something really naughty and they're going to do leverage somewhere and something's going to go wrong, right? And you never know, friends. Maybe like one of the big protocols gets hacked. Right, maybe a protocol gets dunked or the seed phrase gets compromised or something, and then the government's like, oh crap, like how do we regulate that, right? You know what this reminds me of, friends? You know, in the GFC, nobody in government understood futures and swapping and trading. They didn't understand that at all because it was pre-internet stuff, right? Internet YouTube things. No one understood that, you know, a big institution could just put on a short on the S&P 500 and then walk away and they can be like liquidated for everything later on, right? They didn't understand any of that. Now they do, right? But back then they didn't. Well, I believe similarly now, I don't know if the government really understands the risk of Bitcoin and Ethereum and having a seed phrase, right? And the risks of there, like, hey, what if someone just knows a seed phrase? What if something gets compromised? What if you enter the wrong address and you're swapping something over? You know what I mean? Like, we don't really fully understand those where something might go wrong. Now, before all that goes wrong, everything has to go right first. That's what happened, right? So before the GFC, we all talk about the GFC, but we don't talk about the massive up-only leverage pump that happened into it with real estate. So hopefully we get that for crypto first. Standard Chartered becomes the first global bank to offer institutional trading for Bitcoin and Ethereum. This is how it all starts, friends. Remember last year, literally a year ago, I've been saying, man, this has been the wet dream. We want these banks offer Bitcoin and Ethereum Charge your stupid high fee, whatever. I don't care. It'll get retail and every consumer used to seeing the Bitcoin and Ethereum price. Yeah. It doesn't take much for them, friends. Funny because like if they see Ethereum at 3,000 and then 5 months later it's 4,000, they're like, oh my gosh. Wow, it's going up. That's it. And you and I are like, boring. we're like, bro, give me at least a 5x. You brag about 30%, you know what I mean? But the normies, they're not used to that. Normies aren't used to that. So we need them to start seeing this stuff. Maybe start trading around. And then we'll get the big one. Hopefully we're booting up to it. Jeremy Bug Eyes Allaire is the Circle CEO. He's gone on TV. He said stablecoins now let people transact like messaging on WhatsApp, and major institutions agree stablecoins are the future movement of global money. You check it out here.
As the leading regulated stablecoin network in the world, we're I think in a really we're in a great place to build on that, and this is a moment where it's been a long time since you've actually had an upgrade to the financial system, to the very nature of what electronic money is, and digital currency really represents that. And
so he's pretty much talking. I mean, friends, look, friends, my friend Crypto Face, he taught me this. How long has it been, bro? Cookie, it's been like 5 years. Yeah, he taught me never trust a man with bug eyes. All right, this guy is a literal bug. Okay, his office, it's not an office with a chair. It's a plant. All right, you're gonna have to check under the leaves. He's just a little caterpillar. He's just eating away the leaves. Okay, that's how you have to contact him. So stablecoins, wonderful innovation for the world. We don't know how it's fully gonna play out. CBDCs are coming on top of that. It's going to bring in people's savings accounts, and they're going to do stuff like earn yield. And you can only conclude perhaps someone's on PulseX, right? Someone who may or may not control the website named Richard Fart might give them a yield farm for their stablecoins to bring all that liquidity in. We'll see. New York Stock Exchange Orica approves the Ultra XRP ETF. Ultra. I don't know if it's maybe just one company, but yes, XRP getting an ETF. Remember, Doge, XRP, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, all of them getting ETFs. Hopefully they get them, and the NASDAQ announces some sort of index, man, at the top, the very, very, very top. That'd be so great, man. Like, man, can you just imagine like next year, March, we wake up, friends, and I'm doing a juicy news, and I announce for you, I go, breaking news. They just announced that they are bringing out a crypto index. Okay, and I'll tell you, and the date is going to be like, it's going to launch in like, May next year, 3 months later. Because that's what happened in 2017. I think like 3 months earlier, I think that's what happened. They said, okay, we'll launch a future CME, and then it was ready by December. So imagine we just get that, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it might actually be over on that exact day. So we'll see. Publicly traded BTCS borrows $2 million in Tether from Aave to buy 2,700 more Ethereum. Now holds 31,800 meth, worth almost $100 million. Wow, so companies are using DeFi to buy ETH. Isn't that wild? They're getting money, they're putting in the protocol, and they're borrowing on that, and they're buying ETH. Man, it's wild. It's wild. We're just seeing all of that happen. Ethereum ICO whale has deposited 4,900 ETH, $14 million to Kraken. So someone out there is dumping. This is just normal, friends. Every single time we go to price discovery, there's people cashing out the whole time, But you got to think about that. So how are they making money? People who are here to hold for the next 5 years, they're giving them the money now. That person who bought 5 years ago is cashing out. This guy bought like 8 years ago because no one's freaking made money in Ethereum 5 years ago. They're cashing out, and pretty much, yes, it's the cycle repeats. That's it, right? So if you refrain from selling, you get multiple cycles of that, right? But of course, you're going to have to sell sometime. It's been 5 years of down only. GameStop CEO Ryan Cohen calls Bitcoin a hedge against inflation and global money printing. Right. Well, kind of, not really. So whatever, bro, whatever. We'll take it. Just keep pumping the bags. Trump has urged major loser Jerome Powell. Trump has urged him to cut rates by 3 full points, claiming it would save $1 trillion a year. That's 300 basis point cut. That'd be mad. I don't think he's going to do that. Man, I hope we get some sort of mania. Something's going to blow, friends. There's alien super cycle. There's a red pill super cycle. Conspiracy super cycle. We're in a bear market for blue pillars. Trump, think about it. Like the president came out and defended the global pedophilia ring. You know what I mean? The president. So, like, you know what I mean? Like, something's going to, like, explode somewhere. Just a matter of time. Ripple plans to seek a MiCA license for EU crypto and stablecoin expansion. So RLUSD, that'll be great. More stablecoins, yada yada. Hope XRP pumps for everyone. The DOJ, Department of Jelly Beans, and the CFTC have dropped investigations into Polymarket, marking a win for crypto. So remember, friends, I told you last year, during the good, in 2022, 2023, during when prices are going up, you just see good news randomly. Oh, they dropped an investigation. Oh, they actually like it. Oh, they're allowing you to buy stuff. Just happens, you know? It's just part of the universe. Fort Worth becomes the first US city to mine Bitcoin. Friendly reminder for your friends and family, mining Bitcoin is one of the worst business decisions you can make in crypto. It is absolutely horrific. The margin is really razor thin. It is absolutely trash. It's red ocean. The competition is high. And please don't fall for any like joint Bitcoin mining schemes. They always get normies every cycle. They're like, hey, come and do this joint Bitcoin mining. It never works out. They ends up being a Ponzi. They're unprofitable. It doesn't work. You're going to lose your money. Okay. Bitcoin mining is freaking trash. Okay. Trash. You want to make money? You take the risk. You come into altcoins. CNBC has reported, like I said, about the crypto bills and all these other acts and stuff out here, but we don't really have to worry about much, do we? Because big prices are coming. Here we have Jay Plush. Watching your video below, Somi, you mentioned an email with James being the name of Liberty Swap contact. Fun fact, Richard Hart's real name is Richard James Schooler. Wow. So Jay Plush as well. I was thinking James Maria. It could be James. Wow. Does that mean Richard could also be James Wynn? We're just joking, friends. We're just joking. No one's that dumb. Like, it's really hard to even pretend to lose money in a 5% Bitcoin range on 40x leverage. It's really hard. Remember, friends, this is a Sol ETH ratio. It's very interesting how these things play out. So where are we going from here, okay? So I've just shown you Sol ETH. For some reason, I wonder if it's priced in or not the past 1.5 years. Isn't it funny, friends? Look at this. You have an ETF coming. You have every major KOL in crypto coming. Pump Fund just launched a token. Why is your ratio going down? Should be going up. Why are you going down? Just defense. The market front runs the future. All right, so it could be front running that Ethereum's going to move up soon, which is where we're going to move on to today now. Remember, Ethereum is actually it's actually still ticking up here. It's like it's ready to blow, friends. Literally, as Bitcoin ticks down, Ethereum's still ticking up, which is, you know, been a long time coming. So the next CME gap is here. We still have a CME gap though. This 2480. I wonder if we come back and we feel it. We'll see. Clear skies above 3,800. We got to break that level. Until then, it's hope and cope mode. Like, subscribe, belly button, or catch you soon.